My name's Billy Adams. I am known as the landscape potter. My work is all about surface and texture and deals with the landscape. And I deal with the vessel. I like making vessels because they're within the realm of ceramic. And within the vessels, I like having sort of throwing handles and contrasting handles. Welcome to my studio. As you can see, one of the pieces I'd like to make is called a rockabilly jug. The reason why I like these is they're more associated with me. The form itself came out of designing, as we said, within relation to our sketchbooks. And then the surfaces are through 3 different types of clay, which I pull and stretch and then build up from the inside out. And then coming up with the actual sort of the shape and form of it itself. I like the term rockabilly because it links into the source material, which is landscape. This is one which is finished, so it is. But unlike this one, because I like living by the river now and I like the waves, I'm going to incorporate some waves at the bottom. And you can see we've actually got throwing handles on these pieces as well. And I will show you how to make them as well later. But how the piece starts off, it starts off with just an ordinary throwing base on the potter's wheel. And then from that I will build clay up around it, building up the shape and form until you come into this sort of shape. What I'm going to do now is that, as I say, you build up little bits at a time, and when the clay is hard enough, what we call rather hard or cheese hard, when it's hold its form, you can add a wee bit more and you can add a wee bit more. But when you add a wee bit more, it's important to put a bit of slip on. So I'm going to incorporate some slip on here now. And then get my clay, which is porcelain and craft crank in my own mixture, mixed all in together. Then I pull and stretch, and then I put it on and I work it from the inside out, building it up, as you can see. As I said earlier, throwing the handle can be fun. I always like throwing. What I do is I throw like a disc or a donut shape, and then when it's dried out, leather hard, I'll turn it over, and then I'll turn the back of it so it almost looks as if it's thrown on 2 sides. And you can do any size of handles, from little small ones right up to large ones. So we can do any shape, any size we want. Just throwing the handle, pretty easy. We get it up with clay, and we throw it so it goes in the middle. Nice bit of water, and the first thing we do is we get it centered. So centering small lumps is a lot harder than centering smaller lumps. So make sure that we get it centered. Once we've got it centered, then we take out the middle, bring it round the sides, and that's, in theory, how we get our handle. I use a little turning tool, one of the ones I customised myself. It's quite a nice small one, so I can actually clean the handle off. So we'll get the shape of the handle we want, little sponge just to finish off. Put the water on, get a wire, and it will just wire off the base of it. We lift it and we put it right there on our bat, ready to dry it again. As I said, like with the rockabilly jug, it always starts off with a throwing base. So what I do, I'll throw the base of it again, pretty easy. Get it centered. Bring it up 2 or 3 times just to get it centered, and then with the handle, you would actually sort of like let it dry out a bit, and then build on it. So we open it up first to smooth off the inside. Take it in, and then literally just bring it up. And that would then be the basis of our rockabilly jug base, just to get it, making sure it's got a nice curve on it. What we do, we just refine the surface a little bit, so we actually sort of get it looking nice and smooth. Clean it up. Again, get a turning tool just to clean up the bottom of it, and that would then become the basis for the rockabilly jug. As you can see, the handles are on now and it's starting to take shape. So I've now cut away the surface so you can see how you can actually see the inside of it, but also it's kind of based on the horizon, because when you can look in, you can actually see this side is a lot sharper than this side is softer. So what I'm doing now is I'm just refining the edges and smoothing them off, cutting them down and just refining them and then rounding them off, so they're not sharp and they look as if they almost eroded. As you can see, we've carved out the first side, and you can see the contrast between that side and the other side. But it's important to carve it out, and because that helps the curvedness of the clay, and you get a sense of feeling that the waves are crashing up around, and then you just smooth it off then with another modelling tool, one of the tools I have, and you can actually just work in to the seams, defining the seams in between the waves, slowly removing any little wee bits of clay. This is just finishing the last bits to the waves. As you can see, we've actually carved them out now in 3D, so they get a sense of space, so they're actually curved. And that is a small rockabilly finish. As you can see, you get a sense of the waves crashing against the rocks. The surface, which is like my mixtures of clay, all broken and sort of matched up to give a sense of rocks. And that now, sort of when you glaze that, we'll put a surface over that to amplify that. We got the throwing rings to represent sort of the contrast between the smooth and the rough, as well as the man-made element within the landscape. We got the horizon or the rim, and what's up close is in focus, so we get that by having this broke, and then what's in the distance is out of focus, and the rim is quite smooth. So therefore, and also you've been able to see inside the vessel, and that's how you would make a small rockabilly jug.